everybody, I'm James.
I'm Wyatt.
And welcome to episode 2 of the Dynamic Minds podcast. Today, first and foremost, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Yep, great Thanksgiving.
How
was your Thanksgiving?
Way too much food.
Way too much
food. I probably gained a good 10 pounds
So did I.
over the weekend.
Yeah, I've been trying to fast a little bit, so.
Trying to. That's, key word there.
Trying to.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Again, this is episode 2. And we have great news.
This is going to be a great podcast.
This is going to be very...
So stay tuned.
Yes. It's going to be very information-packed. Wyatt, if I'm not mistaken, we got our first question. Tell me a little bit about that.
No, first. We got to joke into the joke of the week.
Oh, dang it.
You ready?
I forgot.
For the joke of the week?
Hold on, real quick. Wyatt has kept this for me. He has not told me about this particular joke of the week. This is something that he's been wanting to do. Go ahead, because I'm anxious to hear it. Please,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Did you hear about the fire at the shoe factory?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. This better be good.
Unfortunately, many souls were lost.
Jeez. All right, so it's just me on the podcast. Wyatt's off now. Anyway,
that was great.
All right, so go ahead. Delve into this question for me.
All right. So a viewer of ours,
you?
one of my buddies, he reached out to me. So he asked a great question. Here's the question. Here's what he said. I'm looking for a home next year. What should I expect being a first-time home buyer, and what are some things that are okay to settle on for a first home? So this is what this whole podcast is about. First-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers,
and any home buyers, really. Because, home buyers, this is the whole simple process that you go through.
The majority of this information, and that's what's funny about a question like this, because this is a conversation that I've had so many times over.
Yep.
Sitting down with first-time home buyers over a cup of coffee, lunch, whatever it might be. But a lot of this information isn't just first-time home buyer specific.
No,
it could be
everybody.
any home buyer.
Yeah.
You might have a home. Exactly.
Yeah.
You might have a home right now. A lot of this information you might not already know. So let's go ahead. Let's delve into it.
All right, James. So the first topic. Where the hell do I start?
That's a great question. So, and again, this is a topic that I've had with a lot of people. Yeah, so everybody. whenever I sit down with somebody, I always like to break home buying down into a very simple to understand 4-step process, right?
Yep.
So it's simple to understand. Executing is a bit of a different story. So first step 1 is establish motivation.
Yep.
Bottom line, you can't be more motivated than your real estate agent.
No.
Right? If your real estate agent's more motivated than you are, obviously you have a bit of a problem there.
Yeah.
More often than not, if that's the case, then you might end up taking a break from home buying. Yeah. You might end up, just not buying.
You need to be really motivated.
Exactly.
You got to be in the game.
Exactly. So step 1, establish motivation. And we'll delve into each one of these steps as we continue on. Step 2, pre-qualification, pre-approval, and property showings.
Yep.
Right? Step 3 is contract offer and acceptance. That's purchase offer and acceptance. And step 4, the best step, closing.
The best
closing
step.
Table.
That's the best step.
Best and simplest
You get your
step.
home. That's the best step.
That's right. Sign a few papers, it's yours.
Yep. Alrighty, James. So, we're going to dive into all these steps.
Mm-hmm.
Deep dive.
That's right.
So, establish motivation. What do you mean by establishing motivation?
Sure, absolutely. So, there's a statistic out there, right, that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of. So, 9 out of 10 home buyers, their property search begins online, on the internet.
Yep.
Right? Very rarely do I ever see, it's typically the older crowd who will drive around and look at homes that are on the market, those who don't know how to use the internet. But the internet's a very, very powerful tool.
Very powerful. You use
right.
it.
Oh, yeah. The internet's a very powerful tool. 9 out of 10 home buyers, right? So keep that in mind. Bear that in mind. So a lot of these people, they're going to go looking at Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com, looking at the homes that are currently on the market, which is fine, and it's something that we both...
You need to start out your process doing that. Get a sense of your market.
Exactly. You need to start somewhere, right? And that's always a good first step.
Yep.
Sure, go ahead and check. The smartest step, the smartest choice that you can make
is to contact us.
Get in touch with your real estate agent, right?
Or us, your best real estate.
For example, right? And I'll just talk about at our situation in our case. Whenever we sit down with home buyers, right, we always tell them about our Buyer Advantage program. So our Buyer Advantage program essentially to summarize it, you get real-time, all-priority access.
Instant access.
And that's a very, very important word there, instant, and I'll delve into that in just a second. But you get access to all the properties that are currently on the market, all of the properties that have yet to be on the market, all the coming soons and whatnot, all the pre-foreclosures, any kind of distressed properties, canceled listings, canceled or expired listings, all of it. And I'll put it this way.
People going through hard times, stuff like that, foreclosures, delinquent taxes.
Which is a terrible situation.
It's a horrible situation.
That's a terrible situation to be in, pre-foreclosure is. But you do have access to those types of properties.
Yep.
So, bottom line, right? You get access to all these properties. Let's say, for example, you get a property that's getting ready to come on the market, right? It's about to be listed. What's great about our program is as soon as that property is listed, and if it's in your criteria,
you get instant access.
You get instant access.
Instant access.
The very moment that property gets listed, you are the very first to know. And I don't know about you, but the most important factor in this market nowadays is timing.
Timing, yep.
And it 100% is timing. You can't tell me otherwise. Yep. I will take that to my grave. It's timing.
And you know a big problem with Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com.
Oh yeah.
All those sites. Say the home gets posted on the market, since we have you set up on email, you get instant access to it. You get, as soon as it's posted, you get instant access.
Instant access.
But with these websites, sometimes the syndication process could take 5 to 10 days.
Exactly.
Before it even gets posted on Zillow or any of those websites.
And by the time that those properties end up getting listed on Zillow or any of those mainstream websites, they're most likely, the good deals are already most likely gone.
Yeah, they're almost already pending. They got a lot of interest.
Exactly, because
stuff like that, and that's very important too. You need to be the first person seeing this home.
You got to understand, because that syndication process, that's a big deal. That's 5 to 10 days that property has sat on the market without you knowing about it. And that's why,
because these websites they take a while.
Exactly.
To upload
5 to 10
stuff.
days,
and especially with all the MLS problems.
Yeah.
If you're on our website, I mean, if you're on our email setup here, we'll put you through an exclusive program here.
That's right.
We'll get your criteria, your email addresses. We'll send it to your email or whatever you want to be sent to. And as soon as something's posted, it's sent to your email.
That's right.
You get instant, just listed. That's right. And with other homes like expired listings and stuff, we'll make phone calls.
Yeah.
We'll get these homes.
Yep.
We'll get these homes. We'll figure them out. But with the, like just listed and all that stuff, you get instant access to it. It gets immediately sent to your website, your email.
As if we haven't said it enough. Instant. Okay? Instant as compared to 5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
Right? That's why it is so, we highly encourage, you need to reach out to us, your local agent, whoever it is that your agent might be.
Yeah.
To get on the ball. So, again, timing is everything. Timing is everything. You can't afford to wait those 5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
Because by that time, all the good deals are gone.
Or
bottom line,
they have a lot of
they are gone.
So that's the first step. Establish motivation.
Yes.
You need to be motivated.
Exactly. To summarize, step 1 of home buying, first time home buying, whatever, is establishing that motivation. Look at what's on the market. If you don't find anything that you like that's on the market, you're not going to be very motivated, right? Or if you're living in a house currently, right? Maybe you want to get out of your parents' house. That's
relocate.
Yeah.
Very big strong motivation.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, the Buyer Advantage program that we offer, it's got it all.
Yep.
Bottom line. So I want to delve into step 2.
Step
right?
2.
What do we think?
So pre-approvals and showings.
That's right. So Wyatt, I want to ask you, why is it so important that I get a pre-approval? What does it do for me? Why do I need one?
So a pre-approval is essential. It's one of the most important factors in buying a home.
That's right.
Say you want to buy a home, you don't know how much you can afford. And you start looking at homes, maybe you're looking at a whole different price range than what you can afford, or
exactly.
You could afford way more than what you're looking at.
Which is a common problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
So first, you will contact your loan officer. Say your bank, your loan officer, or our great contact list of people we have.
That's right. It's our job to have those contacts if you don't have any.
So we have a few great ones
we
can recommend. We'll bring them on the podcast sometime. But a pre-approval is essential. So basically, a pre-approval, it shows how much you can afford to buy. And so, for example, you're looking at a $300,000 home, and you're pre-approved for $500,000. and the seller, no seller will go without having to put in a pre-approval. They won't accept your offer unless you have proof of funds saying that you can afford that home. So that's why it's so essential.
Exactly. You have to have that pre-approval before you put in an offer. That pre-approval letter has to be attached to your offer. Yep. I have never to this day met a seller that accepts an offer without a pre-approval letter. That's asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's asking for a lot of trouble because, I mean, if you can't afford this home, then why put in an offer? You know, you're wasting everybody's time.
Why? So, what about for negotiation purposes? Because if I put in an offer for this $300,000 house and my approval is for $500,000, I don't want them to know that I'm approved for $500,000.
Yeah, no. So they're also really good for negotiation tactics too. So, like James was saying, say that $300,000 home you really like, you're pre-approved for $500,000.
That's right.
You know, that's how much you can afford to buy. But you don't want to buy that much. You know, you want to keep your monthly payment down a little bit.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to be spending all this money on it. So you want to buy a $300,000 home. You can have your lender write up a $300,000 pre-approval, which the seller won't see that you're pre-approved for $500,000. Because sometimes these sellers, you know, they'll see, oh, this person's pre-approved for $500,000. Let's try to get some more money out of them.
Exactly.
You know, let's try to decline their offer, try to get some more money.
So essentially, they're only seeing that I'm approved for that specific property.
Yep. They're only saying that you're approved for $300,000.
Great.
So, you know, you may negotiate some closing costs and that too, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
But that's really what a pre-approval is. They're essential. You need to have a pre-approval to even buy a home.
Right.
Because, I mean,
I've never met a seller who doesn't accept an offer without an approval letter. It just doesn't happen.
That does not happen at all. So that's what pre-approvals are. They're essential. You need to have one. James.
Go ahead.
So there's multiple different types of loan types, right?
There are a lot of loan types.
Tell me about what are the different type of loans?
Sure.
You know, out there for the market. You know, first-time home buyers. You know, more essential for them.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. So there's a handful of them. Right. Obviously, if you're buying in cash,
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that is the best way to do it. Cash offers.
Home's yours.
Exactly. Cash offers are that's best case scenario.
Not a lot of people have the cash like that. I mean, that's awesome.
Exactly. A very small percentage of home buyers are buying in cash. So let's be realistic here. Okay. So the next best option for you as a home buyer is to obtain what's called conventional financing. Yep. Your average lender is going to recommend that you have at least a 640, 650 credit score, a solid 2-year work history, and a decent amount of income. Obviously, we're not going to know anything about your income, right? Yeah. That's between you and the loan officer. So
that's all confidential between us.
Same thing with your credit and work history. You know, that's not our business. That's not our business. You know? That's not our business. We're going to find you the home, right? That's our job. The credit and income and all that, that's the loan officers.
And this all comes in the pre-approval process too. So once you get pre-approved, you find out what loans you can get and stuff like that too. So
right. So once you're seeking pre-approval, you know, the loan officer
you'll figure all that out.
Exactly.
They're more experts on this. You know, we're gonna bring them on, but you know, we're talking about conventional here.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit more about conventional. Why is it the best?
Absolutely. So really, I mean, bottom line, and this is just, you know, on average. This is on average. Your average loan officer is going to recommend that you have at least a 640, 650 credit score, solid 2-year work history, right? Obviously, income requirements and that sort of thing. That's going to be between the buyer and the loan officer. That's not our realm. You know, that's just something that I found on average. That's between you guys and the loan officer. You know, that's not our business. Yeah. Bottom line, we're not going to know what any of that is. We're going to know what you're approved for. Right? Yeah. Bottom line. So really, conventional, for anybody who's bought a house before, you're going to realize that that's the criteria for conventional financing, as opposed to your government loans, FHA, USDA, VA, right? So, you know,
those are always good loans.
Well, too. Yeah, I mean, and they work. They do work. It depends on
the home you're looking at and you're buying. You know, sometimes, you know, when you're buying a first home, you know, maybe your budget's $130 to $210. Yeah. You know, sometimes those homes could need a lot of work. Exactly. Especially in this market, you know, some of the people I've helped, most of these homes don't go conventional. Right. I'm at FHA. Yeah. Because of all the strictness that's comes into play. You know, won't pass the appraisal, you know, a lot of stuff on the inspection, stuff like that. So.
That's right. So really conventional financing, the next best thing to cash offer, right? As we've touched on before. Really, it all comes down to security, appraisal guidelines and that sort of thing. Basically, when you put in an offer for whatever house that you're buying and the seller sees that it's conventional, that's going to look more appealing to them, because in the end, that's going to be less work that they have to do.
Yep.
If it just so happens that the appraiser goes in there, and keep in mind, this is for conventional. If it just so happens that the appraiser goes in there and there might be some things, some cosmetic stuff here and there,
yep.
right? The conventional appraiser, they'll note it, but they won't say, oh man, this can't get financing.
This deal's done.
Right. Now, as opposed to FHA, USDA, those government loans, they're all about safety over there, yep. right? Now, I've had deals get held up.
That's what it was. Safety, security, and soundness.
Soundness. Yeah, that's right. The 3 S's. Safety, security, soundness.
That's what they go off of.
That's right.
Home's got to be safe.
Yes.
And it has to have, good security,
yes.
good bones, and soundness. Diving out of the way.
Yep. And you're 100% right.
So
there it is. So, yeah, now an FHA appraiser, their guidelines are a lot more strict appraisal guidelines are a lot more strict as compared to conventional, since they're all about safety over there. Safety, security, soundness.
Safety, security, soundness.
Now, I've had deals get held up in the past. I've had FHA deals get held up in the past where the appraiser goes in there and they see a missing handrail.
Yep.
They deem this property unfit for financing, right? Or they might see some chipping paint on the outside of a building.
These appraisers are stupid.
That's something that I find so common, and it's so incredibly frustrating. But that's why your average lender is going to recommend.
And the thing about these FHA, the VA, and USDA, they're all government loans.
Exactly.
And you guys know how the government is. So
that's right.
We'll jump into showings now.
Sure, absolutely. So, yeah, I do want to delve into this a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people don't really know what they can expect from property showings, right? So Wyatt, tell me a little bit about the property showing process. What does that look like?
So usually, we'll schedule a 30-minute showing. That gives you plenty of time to go through the property. If you like it, you don't like it, put an offer after, whatever. We can put it for less, put it for more, depending on your time frames. But we'll bring an MLS printout, that says, what's happening with the property. Is it gas, central air, what type of water heater, when was it built.
It has some general information about the property.
All the general info about the property, and all that type of stuff. So, showings are easy. Go there, see the property. If you like it, you can put in an offer right after. Mm-hmm. And that's really it for showings. They're not too crazy. Like, if you don't like the property, you go into the next one. There's multiple homes on the market, and if they're not on the market, we'll find them off market.
That's right.
So
again, buyer advantage program.
But showings, so you see the home on the market, but pictures lie. Pictures lie.
They lie.
Pictures lie. The home could be the pictures could be 6 months old.
Yeah.
They could
be seriously outdated.
The home might have got torn into, broken into, something like that. Destroyed, weather damage or something like that wasn't shown.
If the property is vacant, a lot of times the seller won't even know.
The seller won't even know.
The agent won't even know.
And
right.
Then you come back to the property disclosure. The property disclosure covers what's going wrong with the property to the seller's knowledge.
Right.
So the seller will fill that out. They'll fill out what they know what's wrong with the property.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's stuff that's wrong with the property that'll show up on the home inspection that they don't even know about because they're not home inspectors. They don't know. They just live there. And even with the vacant homes, it could be even worse. It could be completely off.
So real quick, I want to touch on that real quick. So for anybody who's not familiar, the property disclosure is a document required by the state of Ohio for all sellers. It's a 5-page document. It's very simple to understand. Basically it's a to the best of the seller's knowledge. Since they've occupied the home, so right?
It says how long they occupied the property.
It's a property condition report, essentially.
It says, what's wrong with, is there problems with electrical, plumbing, HVAC, fireplace, if there's on some pump, whatever, all that type of stuff.
Water intrusion.
Yeah, water intrusion, insect, termite damage, stuff like that. So
they're required by law to list those things in the property disclosure.
So if they know it, they have to disclose it.
Yes.
And say we go see the property and, we see something that's not on the property disclosure, we're supposed to let the agents know.
Yeah.
That, hey, this got some issues that you guys haven't seen, but that's a whole different type of topic. So we'll jump into step 3.
Absolutely.
Offer and acceptance.
Yes. Step 3, offer and acceptance. So Wyatt, I got to ask, let's say me and you, right? You're the agent. I'm the client. We're going to be going, we look at a property and the showing goes really well. I love the house.
You love the house.
And I want to put in an offer. What should I expect when putting in that offer?
Say you love the house, dream house. You love the house. Everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. I'll call the agent up right after.
That's right.
Hey, how many offers you guys have? How much interest did you have? Because that will tell you also, what should your purchase price be? Because if they got a lot of offers, you probably want to put over asking price. If they don't have any, you can maybe put under or ask for some.
Right.
It depends on the market you're looking into. Because if you're looking a year or two down the road, we don't know what's happening. But we'll try to negotiate for you through that phone call.
That's right.
We'll ask, why are the sellers selling?
Yeah, we can try to get some motivation.
Right. See what's happening there.
Try and structure an offer that appeals to the seller.
We'll ask the seller.
Right.
So we ask the listing agent, hey, what can we do to make our offer the best? What can we do to make our offer the most outstanding and show to everyone, to the seller?
That's right.
That we have the best offer, that they would accept.
Right.
So they usually tell us, maybe they want post occupancy or conventional only. They'll always say that.
If it's sold as is, typically conventional only or cash. It's pretty popular.
The home can go FHA, but the seller would like a conventional financing, so they're more
inclined
to
and accept.
Inclined to accept, and they feel more safe about it.
Right.
So that's really what it is.
Right. So
say we'll call the agent, yada yada yada, whatever you said. Get some negotiation power. See what maybe we should ask for. What are some of the other offers look like? Sometimes listing agents will lie. That's why you need to have some really strong negotiation power, which we have.
Right.
So that's really it. So James, when we're writing up the contract, because that's what we'll do right after, call the agent, get negotiation power, see what's happening with the property.
Yeah.
Is it even worth it to put an offer in? What does a typical contract look like? What all entails into that?
Sure. So first and foremost, 21st century, all the documents nowadays are signed over email unless you prefer paper.
Yep.
It's a lot quicker to sign them over email.
Yeah.
There's no argument about that. But yeah, so the purchase contract itself is about 10 pages long, right? You initial at the bottom of each page and then you sign on the very last page. Right.
Easy.
So and you'll have factors in there, obviously.
Earnest money.
Yes, you'll get. So typically the first one is your base offering price. What is it that you're offering, right? Your earnest money, how much you're putting in there.
What do you want the seller to cover closing costs?
Exactly.
You want them to cover closing costs.
Yes, if you want.
You can try to negotiate that too as well.
Exactly.
Some of these sellers now are offering closing costs covered because their home has been on the market for so long.
That's right.
So it depends on the market, really.
You can negotiate seller paid closing costs. You can negotiate maybe even seller paid buy downs on your interest rate, which I found that a lot of sellers are doing nowadays.
Instead of asking, that $10,000 less on the purchase price, ask $10,000 to be put to buy downs.
Exactly.
Because we saw a stat. It was hundreds of dollars you save if you ask for a buy down in interest rate instead of
compared to
the sales price being less.
Exactly. So asking. So the next time you ask your agent to ask the selling side to put in a offer less than asking or less than your current offer, right? Instead, ask for a seller paid buy down on your interest rate. That can save you a lot more money in the long run.
A lot of money.
A lot more money in the long run. So, and again, it's something that I found that sellers are willing to offer nowadays.
Yep.
So anyway, there's factors like that going back to the main topic as far as what a purchase contract looks like, right? So you have the option in the contract to decide whether or not you want a home warranty, which is always a good idea, title insurance, whether or not you want a home inspection, which very, very important.
Real estate, you have to get a home inspection.
Real estate
it's your
agents,
decision, but we will always advise to get a home inspection.
As real estate professionals, we're always going to recommend that you get a home inspection.
Because you got the home inspection contingency.
You never know what's wrong with that house.
Say the homes, they got a lot of problems with it.
Yeah.
And you don't want the home anymore. Oh, ew, gross. I don't want that. You can back out without repercussions or anything because you have that home inspection contingency that says you can back out if something is wrong with the property.
So that's something I want to delve into too. So the home inspection process. Actually, I'll tell you what. We're going to touch on this a little later once we get into our next step, which is during
and
that.
We need to bring our home inspector.
We'll bring our home inspector on too. We'll bring our home inspector. We got
He'll
a
dive
common
into
guy
this
that
a lot
we
more.
use.
So
you know who you are if you're watching.
James, say our offer gets accepted.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Sure. So
a lot of process.
At that point, we are pending. Once the seller accepts that offer, all terms satisfy both sides, we are officially pending.
Yep.
Right? That listing gets marked as pending. So typically on average, this is just the average, it takes about 30 days to close on a house from the time
depending
of
on your
contract.
financing. That comes back to the financing you get.
Exactly. That goes back to step 2.
This all comes full circle, guys.
It really does.
It all comes full circle. Everything plays into, you have to follow these steps.
Yeah.
Because if you follow these steps, if you skip step 1, you could be screwed on step 3.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So really 30 days is what I found on average. I've seen houses close in 21 days. I've seen houses close in 45 days.
We're ready. I mean, I have a cash offer closing this Thursday. We're ready to close in, a week.
Yeah.
It's
cash.
Cash is king.
Cash is king.
So, I mean, it depends. It depends on your loan officer as well. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that you don't know. But
many loan officers offer different programs. So anyway, I want to delve into this. So 30 days on average it's going to take to close on your house, depending on your financing.
Yep.
Right now, in that 30 days, there is a lot that goes on. You're going to get a lot of documents sent to you.
We're going to be doing a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a lot of scheduling and timing, because timing is key. Timing is essential. You usually have to get your home inspection within, whatever you negotiate in the contract.
Right.
Usually like 7 to 10 days.
Yes.
So tell me about the home inspection.
Yeah. So, real quick before I touch on that, within that 30 days, like I said, a lot of things end up happening. The home inspection time period, if you decide to get one, which again, we're going to recommend that you always get a home inspection, that time period starts the day after those signatures are obtained. So let's say you put in an offer on the 10th, it gets accepted on the 10th, it gets signed on the 10th. Day 1 of contract acceptance starts on the 11th, right? So let's say, for example, and this is typically what I write in, I typically give our home inspectors a week. I typically give our time frame a week, and we can hire that, we can lower that, it all kind of depends.
Yep.
That day, day 1, again, right after contract acceptance, day 1, we're on the ball, we're immediate, right?
Yep.
Or even when we get the signatures, you're going to get
a
in
home
touch.
inspection. You get the home inspection scheduled.
Exactly. So,
and then you got the first big milestone, home
exactly.
inspection.
That's right.
Home goes perfect. The home inspection goes perfect.
Yep.
Boom. You're on to appraisal.
That's right.
But we'll go back to the home inspection here.
Right. So the home inspection is going to that's going to be a week. That time frame is typically a week. I typically write in there 7 days.
And you got a lot of negotiation through that process as well.
Yes. So let's say, for example, this is all hypothetical, right? So let's say you get your home inspection scheduled. You as the buyer have the option to be there. And in fact, I would encourage that you be there just for your own information.
Yep.
You're going to get an inspection report by the end of the day, most likely, or maybe the morning of the next day, which will summarize everything.
What time it's happening.
Right.
Yep.
But even just for education purposes, I always recommend that you guys go there. Our guy is all about education anyway.
Yeah.
So the guy that we use, he's always inviting people out to go look at the homes that they're buying. That's always a good idea to do that. So, yes. So 7 days. Now within that 7-day time period, you have the option, or I should say this first. Get the home inspection within that 7 days. You get the home inspection, and you need to deliver a fully executed defect notice within that time. Defect notice. Which is typically...
Tell me about the defect notice.
What is that? I'll delve right into that.
What is that?
So that goes hand in hand.
That's a lot of negotiation right there.
Yes. So after home inspections happen, right, at that point, we go back to negotiations. After home inspections happen. Let's say they happen.
If you love the home inspection, good. You don't have to do anything. Just move on to the next step.
But if
you don't, you can ask for a defect notice.
Yes.
And you'll write, what you don't like about the property, what do you want fixed? Maybe ask for less on the asking price and stuff like that.
Right. So you get the home inspection. Obviously, you're going to get an inspection report, right? Most likely emailed to you. At that point, if it just so happens that there's figures, there's things in the house that you don't like detailed in the inspection report, you can request that those things get fixed, or you could even request that your offering price goes down if you think those things are manageable. Let's say you're a handy guy. Oh, I can fix it myself.
Some of the stuff's minor, you easily fix. outlet needs changed, GFCI, whatever.
Maybe it's some cosmetic stuff. Maybe there's a chip in the siding or something.
Yeah.
So the defect notice is where you're going to list all those figures that you want repaired.
Yep. And the seller, you'll send it to the seller.
Or all the things that you want repaired, or whether or not you want the offering price lowered, or whether or not you want to continue.
Yeah, if you don't want to continue, there's a lot to fix.
Right.
I mean, I would always suggest asking for them to fix it first before anything. Yeah. If they don't want to fix it, you can back out.
So, and again, I want to make sure this is clear. So after home inspections, once that defect notice is delivered to the sellers, there is some risk involved.
Yep.
The sellers have the option to either accept and say that they're going to fix everything, or lower the price, or they could agree to fix some of them, right? Or they can agree to back out as a whole.
Yep.
So again, you got to bear in mind there is some risk, and obviously you're yourself and your agent, you're going to talk about it. You're going to get all your facts straight. You're going to list everything that you want repaired, or if you want if you want your offer taken out or something like that. So bottom line, the defect notice is an essential part.
You can ask for less than the selling price or whatever. Right. So, after you get all that established, you negotiate that, maybe get this fixed, that fixed, this fixed. You go to the appraisals.
Yeah.
And that's the next big milestone.
Yes.
They can be scary. Depending on your financing, you could be really nervous about the appraisal. You can shut the whole deal down.
Right.
So just tell me a little bit about the appraisals.
Yeah. So, and I know we kind of touched on this earlier in step 2, talking about appraisal guidelines and whatnot, talking about, talking about the loans, whether or not a property can be eligible for whatever loan that you're getting.
Yep.
That all depends on the appraisal. Right, the appraiser, the appraiser is going to walk out to the property, and basically the appraiser's job is to determine whether or not that your offer is good for the home that you're buying.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that: whether or not the home that you're buying is worth what you're offering.
Yeah,
that's one big part, right? The second is to see if this home that you're buying is eligible for whatever for whatever loan type that you have, which again is
always
decided.
Harder.
Yeah,
government loans are always harder for the appraisal process, but we also already touched on that. So you guys already know about the appraisal process.
Yes.
So James, you get through the home inspection, you get through the appraisal. Yeah. Now what?
Well, if you get through
a lot
the
of waiting game, right? A lot of patience.
Yeah.
You got to be patient because you got to wait for the clear to close.
Yep.
That's the best thing you ever get. Clear to close. We're good to go. You'll schedule a closing.
Yep.
We'll figure it out with the seller. When can they be there? If they want to be there, sometimes they're not. Most times they're not. You go there, you'll sign a lot of papers, and you're good. And that brings us to step 4, closing, the best thing ever.
Real quick, I want to touch on this. So, I want to go back to step 3. This is something that I forgot to mention. I always like to recommend, and I say this whenever I sit down with any home buyer, I always like to recommend you have at least $1,500 saved up.
Yep.
I always like to recommend that you have at least. That's going to be more than enough
to cover your home inspection. Your home inspection is going to vary on the size of the home.
That's right.
Maybe $300 or $500, depending on size of the home, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and the appraisal, I've never seen an appraisal over $1,000.
But that's not your down payment either. You need to have a lot more saved up for your down payment. You say you're 3%, 3.5%, all the different percents. You need to make sure you have money saved up for that. Your loan officer will talk about that. But that's really it for step 3. I mean, it's a long process, a lot of waiting games. It's 30 days of, patience, negotiating things, scheduling things, because timing is always important and the most essential thing in a real estate sale.
That's right.
And then we get to the best step.
That's right. Step 4.
Step 4, closing.
The closing table. Sign a few papers, the house is yours.
Congratulations. Go to a coffee shop, go to our office, other agent's office, whatever.
Title company, I found is pretty popular. Go to a title company's office.
You go there, they have a notary there or whatever, signs the papers, they tell you what you're signing, make sure everything's good. You sign these papers, boom, you got the keys, house is yours.
That's right. Congratulations. You're home. You own a home now.
So that is the 4-step process, That's what you should expect when buying a home. And that's really it for first-time home buyers and any home buyers, really. So,
as far as what to expect, because I do want to touch on that. Now, a big part of our job as real estate agents is to manage expectations.
Yep.
It's, you don't want to go into a process with false expectations. That's how you develop assumptions, and that's how you develop resentment towards each other. So, it's never in an agent's best interest to lie to anybody.
No.
That's why
you get a lot of trouble with lying.
You could get that's another thing. Yeah, you could get into a lot of trouble for doing that.
Don't lie to your agent either.
That's right.
Keep everything truthful. It makes the process a lot more smoother.
That's right.
And a lot more easy to go through.
Yeah.
So this process can be really easy if you make it easy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely make it easier for you guys. We'll be handling a lot of things. But,
right.
The 4-step process, make sure you're following it. If you're working with us, you'll definitely be following it.
That's right.
So, next episode, we're going to have a general contractor on, right?
Ooh, we're going to have a guest on our next episode.
Ladies and gentlemen. Probably be a week or two, just iron out some things. But you guys need to leave some questions for our general contractors. What are some questions you guys have about what they do? This guy builds decks and stuff like that. What type of screws does he use? Whatever.
Decks, plumbing, whatever. He does a lot of stuff.
So, in that, guys, make sure to subscribe and share with all your friends. We got a Facebook page, Dynamic Minds, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure to follow all those and stay up to date.
All of our tags are Dynamic Minds Pod, so it's going to be
something
at
like that. Yeah.
Dynamic Minds Pod.
If you
Instagram,
can't find it, let us know.
Facebook, TikTok,
we're gonna link it. We're gonna link it this time. We said we were gonna link it last time, but we didn't.
That's my bad. Yeah. I'll make sure to put it in the description.
I handle the editing part, so you guys let me know if the editing's good too. If you guys like the scenery, all this stuff. We're expecting some big changes here soon.
Yes.
Maybe some changes to what we're doing. The scenery and stuff like that. Right. If you like the editing, let us know. If you like how we're posting the videos and stuff like that, let us know.
Leave questions, comments, concerns in our email, or feel free to comment anything, really. And again, we're going to have a general contractor. Leave questions for him.
Leave questions for him.
Leave questions for us as agents.
We love questions. We'll cover questions. We just covered a whole question.
Exactly.
So
leave questions. We took an entire episode to cover one person's question. Right? So leave them down below. You're going to get them answered.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have an episode, a Q&A episode. We'll cover the smaller questions. But these big questions like this is a really big topic. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.